Yes.
Okay.
It's saying starting. Yeah.
So we are live. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. So welcome to our webinar. I would like to shortly introduce ourselves. I'm Eva Gottwald, and I'm the founder of Yourway Education. What Yourway Education is doing, we are organizing secondary programs for students who are willing to study abroad 1 year, 1 semester, or 2 years with graduation programs. We are based in Hungary, and we have offices in Spain, Portugal, and we are starting now in Mexico and Brazil. So what we are starting here is now a webinar where we invited our partner school from England, Brockenhurst College. So you will hear Wanda talking about a school, and we also invited 2 students who are studying or studied in the schools. I just ask you to introduce yourself shortly, and then we can go on with introducing the school. So Wanda.
Hi, everyone. My name is Wanda. I am an international officer at Brockenhurst College, and I will speak about our school today with the help of Balint and Matthias, one current student and one ex-student in Brock.
Should I start then? Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Balint. I'm a second-year student at Brockenhurst studying law. And if there are any questions about UCAS and applying to university, I will probably be able to help with that because that's what I'm going through right now.
I'm Matthias. I've been last year in Brockenhurst. I've only been there for 1 year. So I took economics, math, and IT. So that's where I can help.
Okay, thank you. So shall we start with the school, Wanda?
Yes, of course. Let me put the presentation on.
Okay.
Start. Let's see if it works. It works. Good. Can everyone see?
Wonderful. Yeah.
Yep.
Good. So what I will do today is to use a presentation to show all of you guys our high school. So where Balint is studying now and where Matthias studied last year. I hope it's not too long and not too boring. But I think because Matthias and Balint are here, I will ask them questions to try and explain the student life at Brock, which obviously I can't tell you, but the boys both can explain, so you can relate and you can imagine what international students are doing at the college. So we are called Brockenhurst College, or Brock for short. I think I usually start with explaining the educational system in the UK because it is very different to any other country. Okay, so here on the slide, you can see the outline of studying in the UK. There is, well, it's very, very, not very highlighted, but it's very pink. That's the part that we do. Look here. So all of our students are in between 16 to 18 years. We teach year 12 and 13, which is more or less an equivalent of high school in any of your countries. So most of our students start studying with us when they're 16 or 17 or 18 and stay for anything in between 2 weeks to 2 years to finish their studies. Okay, just to explain what we do. Now, we are a college or a high school located in the south of the UK. I think the most unique part about us is that we are located in the heart of a national park called the New Forest. We're very lucky. Our environment is very green, and we've got horses and ponies and donkeys absolutely everywhere. But I do understand you're all teenagers and you don't want to be in the middle of nowhere. So we're not. Don't worry about that. We are only 15 minutes away from 2 very cool places like Southampton or Bournemouth, and only 1.5 hours away from London. Okay. Balint, could you explain the location to the students, please?
Yeah, so definitely, as you mentioned, full of ponies and donkeys. I just met 2 of them on my way to Tesco today. Really cute. But no, definitely, if So, for example, I live in Christchurch, which is quite near Brockenhurst, so you'll probably travel to college by bus or train. But as you mentioned, Wanda, there's Bournemouth and Southampton. I think Bournemouth is a little bit closer, and that's where most students go during the weekend. So there's definitely places to go out and hang out. So I actually quite enjoy that you have both opportunities. It's a bit further away from the big cities, but at the same time, you can go and have fun during the weekend or after a college day.
Thank you, Balint. Exactly. And also what is important to mention, what I think is quite cool, is Bournemouth. It's a beach town as well. So during warm days and in summer, you get to enjoy the beach as well. So you get to experience both the city life and the countryside and also the beach area. Whereabouts did you live, Matthias? I can't remember now.
I was living in Christchurch too, not too far from Balint. I really love the location. I was a bit far from everyone and the train station, but overall the place was very good. I didn't really go to London as much because everything you wanted to have, you already had in Bournemouth or Southampton, so you really didn't have a need to go to London, except if you wanted to see the city, because it's a beautiful city.
Exactly. Thank you, boys. So I think that's important for everyone to understand where we are located. Also, remember, when we're in the south of the UK, it means we've got better weather than anywhere else. So we do have a lot of sunshine over summer and spring. So this is an example of what Brockenhurst looks like. So around the school, as I promised, you will see a lot of horses and ponies and donkeys. At the moment, pigs as well. But then 15 minutes away, you're at the beach of Bournemouth or historical town of Southampton. Yeah, so it's a very, very interesting area. Now, why study at Brock? We are one of the top colleges in the UK. We are not a private school. We are a government college. And we are very lucky because we are able to welcome international students to join our British students for their high school experience. On this picture, I'm sure you recognize one of the ladies there. That's the Queen. And the other lady is our principal, who's been awarded an award for contribution to British education. So this lady is currently in charge of all of us and making sure that all of our teachers are top, and then make sure that our students have the highest possibility to apply to all the top universities, whether in the UK or anywhere around the world. As I mentioned before, we are a British school. We're not an international school. So we've got at the moment about 2,800 students. And maybe this year, obviously, because of coronavirus, we've got about 80 international students. Normally, we would have about 130 international students. So not too bad. So all of our international students join the British students in the classrooms. You live with the British host family and enjoy the traditional British environment. So that's what we try to provide, is the British experience. As I said, all of our students are 16 and over. So it's more of an university experience, I would say. There are no younger students. The school takes maximum 2 years, and our campus also looks a little bit more like university. So our job is to prepare students for university life. All of our international students, when they arrive, they obviously need to live somewhere. What we provide is homestay program or accommodation in host families. We know all of our host families in person. We visit them regularly, and we place each student personally to all our host families. In this host family, every student will get their own private bedroom. That you also get half board over the week, so breakfasts and dinners, and you get breakfast, lunch, and dinner over the weekends and all the school holidays. You are welcome to stay with us. And you also get a train or bus pass, depending on where you live, to be able to come to school every day. We think at Brock that host family is the best type of accommodation because you are coming to the UK to study with British students. We want you to live with the British host family and learn about the British culture, about the everyday life, the things that we can't teach you from the books. For example, what British people watch on telly every day, what they eat, what they joke about, little things that make your stay more memorable, but also that teach you the language that is part of, obviously, your learning. Now, Matthias, would you mind telling us a little bit about your experience with your host family, and then Balint as well, please?
Yeah, sure. My host family was a really friendly one. We had two small host brothers, one age 10 and one age 6. They were really friendly. They were playing football, and sometimes I went to out for their football match or their other football activity, just to watch them or just to play with them. And I think they were very friendly. They were very open. I wasn't there. They had a lot of experience with internationals as well, because I was like their fifth, or I don't know how many students they had. So they were very helpful. They always knew what to do, because obviously they had experience. So they have went over this whole process a few times before me. So it was really helpful to have them, compared to like being alone in a school.
Yeah, it is a very different experience, isn't it? Do you think it helped your language development that you live with a British family?
It definitely did. They sometimes corrected me. It wasn't like too distracting or too problematic, but they sometimes like correct or sometimes help me that it's not how I correctly do things, or that's not how the British customs are. And then it was very helpful, because you obviously run into these problems in daily life as well.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Balint, could you tell us a little bit about your host family?
Yeah, definitely. I was just trying to think where to start. Obviously, I really enjoy staying with my host family, and they really do become your second family. Because, for example, if you do 2 years like I do, then you're staying with one host family for 2 years. So you'll definitely get to know each other. I can really only say what you mentioned before, both of you, is just definitely that in college you're learning what we say the Queen's English, the proper English, and then you get home and then you learn these little bits and bobs about British culture and how to say it. And they did, just as with Matthias, they did help me with my English. And apart from that, we did a lot of activities together. We went around England, traveling a bit, had a lot of programs together, and definitely they were extremely helpful. So I really do enjoy staying with them. And also, just one more thing, Brockenhurst really does a great job with putting students to the right host family. So I don't know whether you will talk about this, Wanda, about how you're filling out a form in the beginning and they will try to put you with a host family that's really similar.
You tell it. You're the receiver of the service, so please tell everyone how it works.
Okay, so yeah, just as I mentioned before, I went to Brock. I filled out this form where I describe myself, what I like to do in my free time, what family I'm looking for, etc. And then the host family does the same, what student they're looking for, and a little bit of information about themselves as well. And then I'm assuming what Brockenhurst does is they put you next to each other and try to get you to a family that's really similar to you. And I think they did a great job with me and a lot of other students as well. So that's very good.
Thank you, Balin. That's music to my ears. It's very similar. Obviously, I meet all of my students that applying to study with us online on a Skype interview, or in good old times, I would meet them in person in the country. We always try to learn as much as possible about the students. And then with my colleague Samantha, we sit down together and we think about the best option for the host family. Obviously, that's the biggest job we have, I think, because that's all the students are always the most scared about. The part of school is always fine, but it's always the scary part to come and live with strangers and, that you never met before. But that's why we're here, and that we help you throughout the whole program, we always ask you whether you feel happy, whether everything is fine. We do questionnaires, we do special tutorials and so on to make sure that everyone's always feeling happy and safe. Balint, you are in your host family now at the moment, aren't you?
Yes, yeah, I'm just home, so I did ask them to be a bit quiet, so so we were right. But yeah, that's one thing where they're really helpful. So
okay, good, good. So yes, as you can see, every student would have their own private bedroom, so you would still have your little, your little privacy, but then obviously you will share the rest of the household with the family. Okay, let's move on. If anyone's interested, obviously, learning more about the host family program, we are doing a little chat, aren't we, with questions. So feel free to pop in your question, and either of us can reply about that. Okay, I already mentioned all of this. I will just mention again, because we are located in the middle of a national park, all of the students commute, which means they travel every day to college, either by the bus, which is the college's bus, or by the train. Yeah, so you get a ticket, you take it, and it's very, very easy. Or some students drive, but obviously the international students would normally arrive with their car. Now, I mentioned the international team, and Balint did as well. So that's us. We are the team that is responsible for all of the international students. So you can see Paul, our manager, in there. And then the blonde lady is Melissa, who's also an international officer. Then myself, we've got Samantha on the bottom, who's responsible for all of your host families. Joe, who's responsible for host families with Sam as well at the moment, and administration, and Catalina next to Paul, who's responsible for all of the finance and invoices and all the boring bits that don't have to concern you. So we are the international team. We sit directly at the college, and we are responsible for you guys to be safe and to be happy, to answer all of your questions and to deal with all of your problems from the application all the way to when you graduate and leave. Okay, now, I was asked to mention programs that we teach at the college. There's many, and I don't want to confuse you. I think what is the most important is for you to know that you can join us for as short as 2 weeks or a week, maybe sometimes, all the way to 2 years when you are able to graduate and finish your high school education in the UK and apply for universities. All the short programs, anything from 2 weeks up to 1 year, we call high school experience. So that's what Matthias has done. He has joined us for 1 year to experience how it is to study in the UK, and then he was able to return back to his school in Hungary and continue his education. We also, the long program, it's called A-level program, and this is what Balint is doing. So he has decided to join us for 2 years for full studies, and after his second year, he will do the A-level exams and graduate high school, where he will be finished with his high school education, and he will then go to university of his choice. We will talk about it a little bit more. I think what is important for you to know is whether you join us for a short period of time or long period of time, everyone will join the same program, which is most typically A-level program or an academic program or a vocational program, which is more practical, depending on what you are looking for. You will do exactly what every British student does, and you will study 3 academic subjects of your choice. I will talk about this in a little bit, just to not confuse you. So we've got high school experience or an A-level program, and these are the subjects that you could choose from. So we teach over 50 A-level subjects. Big difference from your schools at home, I assume. We don't tell you what to study. You tell us what you want to study. Okay, so at the interview or in the application form, we will ask you what 3 subjects would you like to study when you are with us. Just so you understand why, is because we are preparing you for university studies, which means usually that you already know what you want to study at the university. So we will only teach you the area that is important for you. For example, if you want to study medicine in the future and want to become a doctor, you don't need to study arts or music. You will never need that. Okay, we know that you will need biology, chemistry, and mathematics or psychology. That's a very good combination. And this is something that you will study with us for 2 years or for how long you decide to stay with us. And we will try and make you into a little professional in this area. So then you are a very good and attractive candidate for university. Now, Matthias, could you repeat what combination of subjects you were studying, please?
I took economics, IT, and math. Because I was going only for 1 year, I didn't really think about the universities. I took the choices I was interested in, and I think this is a really good thing about the UK education system as well, that you can actually choose the subjects you want to have and don't have to learn a lot of subjects that you are not interested in and won't use anywhere, like in Hungary, where I'm starting school again, where I have to learn like a lot of different subjects I don't actually care about.
Exactly. So that's another example. If you decide to join us for a short program for maybe 3 months or 6 months, as an example, you don't need to think about what the universities will be asking, but you can choose subjects that you enjoy the most, that are your best and strongest subjects, or maybe something that you never tried before and you are very interested in the area, okay? So we will give you the opportunity to do that. Now, Balint, tell us a little bit about the subject choices that you've got and why.
So for me, so just for a bit of a clarification, before I came to the UK, I spent a year in New Zealand. And that's where I wasn't sure whether I would go back to Hungary or study in the UK afterwards. So there I picked subjects that I didn't have the chance to do back in Hungary. So I picked one of them was law, and that's when I realized I do quite like law. So when I decided that in university I want to study law, and especially corporate law, that's when I came to the UK. I picked law, business, and history, because that's the subjects you would need for university. So that was the reason. So for me, I picked courses that I will need for university.
Okay, that's brilliant. That's exactly the point. But also, it doesn't have to be scary. Some students don't know what they want to do at university just yet. When you're 16, that's completely normal. We can help you and we can advise you, but we can also help you to choose subjects that open many doors when you're finished with your studies, okay? There are many subjects that are applicable to any university or many areas of study. So don't panic if you don't know yet what to study at university. That's okay. I had no idea when I was 16. What is important as well to know that every international student will also study English as a second language during your studies. So you will have your academic subjects that of your choice, but you will also work on your academic English. Yeah, we will help you with that during your studies. Obviously, it's important and it's part of why you will be with us. We also teach something called enrichment classes. Now, these are for fun, usually. So these are not academic classes. This is a chance for you to try something new that you never tried before, or continue with your hobby, for example, meet new friends and so on. We usually encourage students to choose 2 in their timetable, and we teach anything from yoga to robotics to debate team to music and so on. So these are brilliant for any student who wants to do a little bit more on top of their timetable. What we also provide is tutorials. So let me just go back. So on your timetable, you will also have international tutorial, which will be with one of us, usually with Samantha and Joe, that we could see in a previous slide. You will meet with us once every 2 weeks, where we will make sure to ask you whether everything is going okay, whether everything is fine with your host family, everything is okay in your classroom, and so on. And then every week you will meet your personal tutor. This is one of the academics, and they will ask you if everything's okay in classes, if you need any extra support, and so on. So there will constantly be somebody asking you whether you're fine, whether you need any help, and so on.
Okay. Sorry for interrupting, Wanda. If you go back to enrichments, I just realized, I know that I told you that I didn't do any, but now I just realized I did, actually.
Yeah.
So I picked up digital media, I believe. Yeah. So as you can see, that's something completely different from what I'm going to do, because I found it would be fun, and it was really, because for 1 hour you just go there. Teachers really don't care if you're late or you leave a bit earlier because you have a class you need to prepare to or anything. You really just sit down. They will teach you a few things. So for me, they taught me a bit about photoshopping and etc. So you're just playing around with it. And really, it's all about to have fun and meet other people. So it is really good. I would recommend, if you don't have a full timetable, to just try it out.
Thank you, Balin. Okay, now we were talking about academic programs. We do also teach programs that are called BTEC or vocational programs. I will briefly introduce them. These are very popular as well with British students that are not too well known for international students. So this is not your typical high school that you might know from your country. These are also academic programs, but with accent more on practical bits. So if you want to become an actor or a singer or an artist, or you want to do fine art, these are the programs that are ideal for you, because obviously with these areas, you need more practice. You need to be in our art studios, or you need to be in our theater, and you need to be practicing in practice what you enjoy. So we can provide programs like that as well for international students, of course, as well. If you have questions about any area of study, please feel free to ask. We have so many programs that we teach at our college. So if you are interested in something that you think might not be possible to study in high school, please ask. We probably teach it.
Wanda,
okay.
Can I have
we do a year program. Of course.
Just back to the BTEC program. It's a 2-year program, right? And it finishes with a diploma. And is it possible to take 1 year for international students, or only 2 years?
It is possible with some of the programs to also only do 1 year.
Okay.
From my own experience, we usually only have international student on performing arts program. And all of the students that we had so far arrived for 1 year and decided to stay the second year as well and graduate, because it's a brilliant program. We have our own theater at the college, and students perform in college and outside of the college. And it's a really, really great program. But yes, you can join for a shorter period of time as well. And it's a level 3, which means just like A level, which are both level 3. So you continue to university if you wish to. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool, that's fine. We've got also international foundation year programs. These are programs that are a tiny little bit different, because these are made for international students only, not for British students. From my personal experience, students usually use them as a gap year. So when you finished your high school in your home country and you want to go to university, for example, in the UK, but you are worried about your language, you're worried about, you have no experience, you don't know how it all works in the UK, you can join one of these programs where you study with other international students still at our college. We have business and finance and science and engineering area. Okay, so they're quite specific. But when you finish this 1 year, then, and if you are successful, then you are guaranteed progress to one of our partner universities, which would be Bournemouth University, University of Southampton, Kingston University in London, or Reading University. Yeah, so that's quite an interesting program for students who know they want to study in the UK.
Do you have an age limit here?
I would say all of the students are usually between minimum 17 to about 19. I would say maximum 20. Okay. Just to have a good time as well, because all of the students at the college would be in between 16 and 19. So if you maybe 22, 25, you might feel that this is not the perfect place for you. But when you're 17, 18, I think that's perfect, okay, rather than trying to go to university right away where everyone's much older.
Yeah, thank you.
We have other programs as well, but I think those programs that I just mentioned are the main ones and the most popular with international students. We welcome groups as well. We're very, very flexible to invite anyone who's interested to join us and, have the British experience. for as long as they want. Now, this is the picture of our campus. I said before, our job is to prepare students for university studies. We teach in a university style, and our campus also looks like a small university. So we have many buildings at the campus, and each building concentrates on different areas of study. Balint, how do you feel about the campus? Is it different to your school in Hungary or New Zealand? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. So completely different from my Hungarian school, and I actually had the chance in January before I arrived to visit Brockenhurst College, and I was so surprised that it does look like a university. And on this picture, for some reason, when I looked at it, it doesn't look too big, but when you're actually walking, it's quite a distance between a few blocks. So yeah, definitely. For my New Zealand one, it was quite similar to Brockenhurst College. They tried to focus on university as well, so the blocks were separated. So you had like a humanities, you had science, you had mathematics, etc. But yeah, I do enjoy Brockenhurst College's campus.
Matthias, which areas did you spend most of your time in?
Probably in the math section or in the library.
Mm-hmm. Good answer.
Yeah, because in the library, Brockenhurst is so well prepared compared to my Hungarian school. They have a lot of computers in the library you can use for research. You have a lot of space and books in the library you can use for research or just getting ready for your class. And it's really mind-boggling how well prepared everything is. It's astounding.
Oh, that's really good. It's also very nice for me to hear that. Thank you, boys. Yeah, the college it should have everything that the students need. So the campus is also not closed. You can leave anytime you need to. You can come back as well, because you will have gaps in your timetable to be in the library or go for a little walk, go and buy lunch, and so on. We've got a big sports center as well, where you can find the gym for students. It's free for you to use. We've got a maths building, we've got a humanities building, we've got building where we teach media and photography, for example, with professional music production studios and photography studios. We've got a theater, as I said before, music rooms. We have got all sorts on campus. We've got a big cafeteria called Hard Bro Cafe as well, where you can get your lunch or your coffee or what have you. It's all priced for students as well. And it's very, very green, as you can see. All in the back, all of the green area, it's our football and rugby fields and hockey fields and so on. So this campus is all there for you, for students to enjoy and to learn and study, but also to relax and so on. It's a nice campus, as I said. And we are in Brockenhurst, which is a village. So maybe 7-minute walk is to the town center, where you can find two little supermarkets and few other shops where you can, or restaurants and pubs. Now, results and progression. I will not bore you with statistics, but we are doing really well. Our main goal is to get students to very good universities or universities of their choice. Our students pass every year with very good grades, usually A* to C, especially the international students, which is very, very impressive, because studying in a different language, different country, different style is not easy at all. You study 3 subjects. You might think that's not a lot. Trust me, it is a lot. We teach in depth. We want to make you the best candidate for any university, whether it's in the UK or outside of the UK. And we make sure that you are on top of your field when you are leaving us. Now, more at Brock. There is so much more. I can sit here for hours to tell you. I think the best way to find out what I normally advise students is to follow us on Instagram, for example, where we are as Brock College, because you will see all the events and all the special things and little things that we do that you might not realize that the school would do. Now, under normal circumstances, not the COVID circumstances, we do organize a lot of events for public. We do music festival, we do food and drink festival. We have a university fair every year where about 70 universities visit us to speak to our students. We do open days, we do family days, and so on. There are different academies at our college as well for students that are aiming to study, for example, at Oxford or Cambridge. We do so many things for students. The picture that you can see is the ambassador scheme, where students can become ambassadors and help the marketing team to organize these events and take part in them, for example. And so much more. As I say, that there is a lot happening at the college. This picture represents the sports academies that we do. So many of you could be, or many of our international students are doing sport at home on more or less professional level. You can be representing your school, you can be representing your town or your country, and you still want to have the high school experience. You don't have to lose your sport. We have special sports academies. You could see the sports fields are very, very big. We do have basketball, football, hockey, rugby, and netball, both for girls and boys. And you can join these academies alongside of your studies, where they are part of your timetable. So you do both sports and the academic part. I will talk about how to apply. Everyone usually thinks it's very difficult to apply for a program abroad. Now, when we have wonderful partners like Eva and Yourway, it's not that difficult, okay? You have your agency in your country that can help you with the application process, that can speak to your parents in your own language. They can speak to you as well. I will just be the one that makes the interview, and I will then take care of you once you arrive to Brock. On this slide, you can see what the procedure is. Normally, you complete the application form, which is very easy to do. I always want to have a look at 2 years of academic reports. I would like to see your passport and your birth certificate, just to make sure that I'm speaking to the correct person. And then I would invite you for a Skype or a video call to try and learn as much as possible about you. Yeah. Then we do the other bits, and your agency will help you with that, which could be a language test or could be a visa application and so on. It's very easy and straightforward, and along with every step, your agency will help you. Balin and Matthias, if you can tell us, did you find it difficult or complicated to apply for your program? Matthias, if you start, please.
Well, it was surprisingly easy. At first I thought it would be like hours of filling out papers and stuff, but it was actually very easy. And even when we forget to do something, Eva would just tell that we still have to do this, and she would just knock at our door that you missed this part. So it was really easy to do.
What about you, Balint?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. For me, especially because at the time I was applying, I was in New Zealand, so everything had to be on email. And I was thinking like, oh my God, it's going to be a bunch of scanning papers and sending back and forth and etc. It was really easy. I literally, Yourway just sent me all the information I need to fill out, and I sent it back, and then just a bit of back and forth, and then I got my conditional offer letter. So it's quite quick, actually.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. We try to make it as little complicated as possible. Okay, let me see what's my next. Okay, university applications. So now, those of you who are planning to study with us for 2 full years or do the year program where you finish with graduation, will want to be applying for universities. So there are 2 options. You're applying, or 3 options. You don't have to apply for university. It's up to you. 2 options if you're applying is you can apply to university anywhere in the world. With the A-level or BTEC certificate, you can apply anywhere in the world because it's internationally recognized. In that case, you apply online through the website of the universities. Usually you can do this yourself. It's quite straightforward with direct communication with universities. You can ask us for help as well. Now, the one that we concentrate on is the UCAS application or the University and Colleges Admission Service, which is applying within the UK. This means that you want to apply to a university in the UK, you will be able to apply for 5 universities on this application. You will have a UCAS advisor that will help you with that, and obviously you can ask us. But I'm not going to talk about it. Balint will, because he has just been through the process. So please explain, how does it all work, and if it's too complicated, or what do you need to think about, and what is your particular case?
Yeah, sure. So my particular case is actually a bit more complicated because I have applied to Oxford, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, just to start from the basics, as you mentioned, there will be a dedicated UCAS advisor. I think for most students that will be the tutors. If you're applying to Oxford or Cambridge, they will put you in a special tutor group because you will need to do extra stuff. They will help you with every step of the UCAS application. So don't worry about if you feel a bit confused or anything. They will definitely explain. The final deadline is January the 15th. That's when you need to hand in your application through UCAS. So it's quite simple, actually. Just add your past education. You have to write a personal statement about yourself. And also teachers will put their grades and references there. And then if you're applying to most universities, then it's January the 15th, as I mentioned. And if you're applying to Oxford or Cambridge, then it's the 15th of October. So I've just handed in mine on the 11th, I believe. After that, universities will consider your offer and get back to you. And as on the slide it mentions, you can apply to up to 5 universities. And then around May time, you have to pick one firm choice, the one that you want to go to, and an insurance choice. So if you can't meet the conditions for your first one, then you can always just have like a backup choice in case something goes wrong. About the grades. So perhaps if you're thinking of going to university in the UK, then you should definitely focus on your first year, because at the end of your first year, you will get an end of the year grade. And that grade, the universities will use that grade as your predicted grade for your A-levels. Because what's tricky about the UK system, which I've never seen anywhere else in the world, is that you're applying to university without actually having your A-levels, without even graduating. So for me, my end of year grades were A-star AA. That was my 3 A-levels. So I applied with those to my 5 universities. And one of them already came back to me and said, if I write 3 A's on my A-level, then they will give me a place in the university. So I feel like that's, in short, how UCAS works.
Yes, brilliant. Yes, Balint is a very good example, a very, very good student. So as I think what you need to remember is that you will not be doing the UCAS application on your own. You will have your UCAS advisor, and they will help you and explain everything. However, if you are joining us for a short program, for 3 months or 6 months or 1 year, you will still get a certificate that you have studied with us, and you will get all the feedback from your teachers and your predicted grades. So you will still have something to bring back to your school, to your teachers, and show what you have accomplished in your time with us. Yeah, even if you're not graduating after a year or 2, you will still bring back home something to help you with your future studies. And I'm sure when you're applying to any university anywhere in the world or in your home country, they will still look at it and understand that you've done something extra that other students didn't during your time at high school.
Sorry, just one more thing. If you just go back to I was just about to say that, as you mentioned, you won't be working on this alone. So for me, in my example, I think I was just counting in my head. I had about like 8 people at one point helping me with my application. So I had the international office. They helped me a bit with as well. All my teachers helped me. I had my UCAS advisor. I had 3 people looking at my personal statement and giving me feedback. So there's no way you can get lost in the system. So that's just a bit, it's a bit more comfortable to have people, checking on you from time to time. But if you do have any other questions, just pop it in the chat, and then I think we can answer that.
That's brilliant. And that also represents of how we work at Brockenhurst College. We always try to help every student, and the teachers are really there to help you, and you can always ask them for help. If you don't know who to ask, then you ask us, and we navigate you to the correct person. Matthias, with you, after did you sit any AS exams as well?
Yes, I did some AS exams and I passed them. It was a bit tricky because of coronavirus and schools closing.
Yeah, of course.
But I did manage to do them all at the end.
Perfect.
And getting back to the international, I think the international team has the same spirit as Eva, that they are always knocking on your door if you miss something. You can't really miss much. That I didn't fill out this paper now, or where I'm staying in the summer, not in the summer break, but in the autumn break or something, and they will send you emails. They will come to you and say that, hey, you still need to do this. So you can't get lost in the system. Yeah.
Good.
I think this was really positive.
We will find you and tell you forgot to do something. That's very true. That's very true. Okay, now let's go to a slide about Brexit. I am sure those of you who live in the EU will have questions about what will happen after Brexit when the UK leaves the EU. Do not worry, do not panic. There will be more or less no change. You can still come and study at Brockenhurst College for either short or long period of time. Not every school is able to do it, but we are, which is very, very good. It might be a little bit more complicated for you, but don't worry, because we will, again, help you with the process and the procedure. So what I think is important to know is that up to 6 months, so anyone who is arriving to do a program for no longer than 6 months will not need visa. Yeah, you will just be a visitor and it's just a stamp in your passport. For those of you who are from, for example, Mexican or Brazilian passport holders, then I don't know what's the rule in Mexico. It's usually a stamp in your passport when you're arriving for up to 6 months, or you apply for a short student visa. Neither of those processes are complicated. Now, if you are planning to join us for example, for 1 year or for 2 years, every student now will need to apply for a visa. This visa will now be called student route and will apply to all the students who are staying with us for over 6 months and maximum of 2 years. To get this visa, you will have to sit an English test. It's either the UK Visa and Immigration Approved IELTS certificate or a PTE language test as well. You will be applying for a visa in your home country with the help of your agency. So again, you will not be doing this on your own. Your agency will also have help of our visa solicitors that will make sure that you have all the paperwork that you need and you are and they are happy for you to apply. Okay, so don't be scared or worried about these changes after Brexit, because obviously we will be the ones helping you with that, just like Yourway agency. Eva, would you like me to say anything else about this, or is this clear?
Yeah, actually, I think that was the main question that I got from the survey, that people are very much interested at the moment how the system will work and how it goes with the visas. And yes, of course, we also have the Yourway agencies in each country. So whoever would like to apply, they can contact their country, local country officer. I will send you, actually I created a file to see the emails, but I will send an email after the webinar to each attendance and registrant, so they will be sure where they can connect us, okay, if they are interested in the application. So yeah, of course, we help them with the application process and also with the visa process.
Exactly. I think that's the main point, again, that you will not have to do this yourself. You will have the support of the agency, and the agency also will have the support of our visa solicitors or lawyers that help all of our students who are already on visa to make sure that you're doing it correctly, and that there are no problems with that. Again, I think what is the most important part is that students who are joining us for long programs will have to apply for visa now. This visa will be called student route. And students who are arriving for short programs for up to 6 months will not need to apply for any special visa. Yeah? Okay, let me see what next. That's it from me. Obviously, I have much more things to say, but what I would like to do now is to play a short video, if it works, for you to see the college and see the campus and hear other international students talk about their experience as well. And then I think we can concentrate on the questions from the chat. So let me try and play this video for you. Is everyone happy with that?
Yeah, shall I help you? Or can you start it?
I think I can do it.
Okay.
Play video.
Great.
So you're thinking about leaving home to study.
So you're thinking about leaving home
to consider, but you're after something a little bit special. A centre of academic excellence that's also a home from home. Brockenhurst College is situated in the UK's historic New Forest National Park, just 90 minutes from London, and a stone's throw from miles of golden coastline. It's a bustling hub of colour and activity, rich new experiences, a place to make friendships that will last a lifetime, and achieve unbounded success.
I'm currently doing A-level in maths and a BTEC in engineering because I want to be an engineer. I chose here because of how friendly the teachers are, but the teachers are really supportive. They will help you understand the course before you get into it. They will explain everything to you. They constantly ask you to ask them questions so that you fully understand everything you're doing.
From day one, my host family has been amazing. First, it was a bit intimidating because I was going to live with strangers, but they actually create this family atmosphere, which really helped with improving my English language.
Where are you off to?
The beach.
Come on, got your towel. Not again.
At first I was scared, but then when I came here, it was such a nice place with nature around. My host family, they are always caring and loving. The decision to go to Brock, it is the best decision I could have ever made.
If you're looking for academic excellence in a stunning location
that feels like a home away from home,
no place.
There really is no place like
For
Brock.
more information, visit brock.ac.uk.
For more information, visit brock.ac.uk/international.
Okay.
Good.
Are we back on?
Yep.
Good. Okay. Now, I think the last thing I would like to ask both Balint and Matthias is to tell their experience of, like Matthias especially, you already left now and you're back home. If you can summarize your experience at Brockenhurst College.
I think it was a really positive experience overall, and it was really worth the year and the money. I think in personal, I became a lot more open to new things, because at first one of my motivations were to be a bit more open, because I was a bit more closed and a bit more shy. Right now, I got a lot more open, getting into new things, trying out. I think it was a really great experience and I'm still keeping connection with a lot of international students from the school who still go there or left because they were only for 1 year too. So I think it's really a once in a lifetime experience, and it's really worth it.
Thank you. That's really, really good to hear. What about you, Balint?
Well, I'm halfway through it, but I can definitely say that it's amazing. For me, especially for the academic side, they were extremely helpful. Not just the international team, but your teachers, your tutors, everyone. But just actually studying in Brockenhurst College is such a different experience than studying in Hungary. Larger school, 3,000 students, so you can socialize. Obviously not now because it's COVID, but you used to be able to socialize with whoever you wanted, meet up with students. There are enrichment programs, so you can meet students who also like the same things that you do. I think that's a good summary of it. But yeah, it's just amazing. It's a totally new experience.
Thank you, boys. Okay, I think that's all from me at the moment. Eva.
Thank you, Wanda.
Thank you for listening to us.
Thank you for the presentation. Thank you, guys, coming, being present on the webinar. Let's check if you have any questions, but so far nothing arrived. So if you would like to have some questions, please feel free to type here down. And we are happy to help. But if you don't have questions now, you can send the questions later on. And I'm trying to open a file here with emails. Hopefully I managed to open it. So if you are in Hungary, then you can contact us with the email address info@yourwayeducation.hu. If you are in Portugal, then please contact info@yourwayeducation.pt. If you are in Spain, then the contact email is info@yourwayeducation.es. And if you are from Mexico, then please send an email to info@yourwayeducation.mx. Unfortunately, my slide does not open, so I cannot share it with you, but I will share the recorded webinar to everyone who were here and who were not too. So if there are any more questions, then feel free to contact us. And thank you again, Wanda and Matti and Balint, for being here today. It was very informative.
It's a pleasure.
Okay.
All right.
So, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.